That's your
we
whole
did. We did. We were saying before you clicked the pod on football was child abuse. I think hockey would be child abuse.
No.
Yeah. Before we got started, I said that sending your kids to hockey practice, or excuse me, football practice, American football practice, as like at Pee-wee, 12 years old, and high school, like I think that's child abuse. I think that you are throwing your kid into a gladiatorial arena that we now know is just full of concussions and permanent brain damage. Like your kid is that's going to happen to your kid if they make any kind of a go at this. Like it just is, and you're choosing that for them.
What age is it?
that.
Like, hey, now you can go do that.
Well, I mean, I think. Look, if your kid is like some kind of fucking natural born athlete, you're like, man, look at Tommy. Like look at it. You see him run the 40. He's 8. Like holy shit. Did you see how fast he is? Like, all right, maybe Tommy should make a go at it. But if you got some pudgy white kid who just wants to be on the team, leave little Oliver at home. Give him a baseball bat or something, because he's not gonna play pro ball. Okay, little pudgy Oliver ain't gonna
one
play
of the
pro
few
ball.
places for pudgy white guys.
I was thinking there's a position.
The library is the best.
If he has good footwork, if he has good footwork, like there's a position for him.
Someone's got to play O-line.
Isn't O-line just full of the biggest, fattest white people in America?
A lot of those guys run really fast.
That's the thing.
And they can do all this crazy footwork stuff. You know, an athletic fat guy versus like a not athletic fat guy. I have some athletic friends that are so fat, but just so fast at running, so capable. They play basketball and stuff, but they also just eat like crazy and love being a fat guy.
Last year, I watched Jason Kelsey. I think it was last year, and it might have been a Bills game or something. But anyway, he's in the box, and I think his brother scored. So he jumps out the window into the stands with the people and then jumps back in the window. And I was like, all right. Just to see him move like a professional athlete, jumping in and out of a window to the stands below and navigate that like he's fucking Spider-Man. I was like, oh, right. I forgot. He's an athlete. He doesn't look like one of his podcasts.
I remember Joe Lozon just randomly busting out a bunch of muscle ups that time at that gym we were at. Woody, that's one of my favorite stories. It's like me and Woody and Joe Lozon were in Chicago maybe, and Joe's like, I want to train. I don't know. We're on vacation, but he wants to train, I guess. Or maybe Woody wanted to. I know I didn't. So we went to we went to like a MMA gym. It was like Krav Maga and Taekwondo and Jiu-Jitsu and maybe something else. And like we were in this little workout room, and Woody mentioned something about a muscle up, but he didn't know what a muscle up was called, I think. He was like, you kind of do a pull up, and then you like rotate your wrist and then press yourself, like almost like a dip, but with your hands this way. And just like, like this. And he starts cranking them out. He starts cranking them out like crazy. And then it was time for everybody to like roll, and they just threw me under a random guy. And then, like 5 minutes into me and this guy wrestling around on the floor, he was like, so what gym do you normally go to? And I'm like, I have no idea what's happening right now. And he's like, I've never done this before. And he's like, oh, that makes so much sense now.
He's all thinking it's like you have crazy strategies, like, going for the lapel right off the bat. Very interesting. This guy might be good. And you're like, all serious?
I was so serious. I was
for sure.
All I had.
And I feel like your inner competitor like was kicking in, so you're doing it. And you're like, he's like, man, this guy's confident. I've never seen strategies like this. And you're like, where do you work out? Where do you do this? And you're like, I don't know what I'm doing.
It's super normal for guys to overestimate how good they are at fighting.
Would you say MMA is child abuse to put a kid in, Kyle?
Yeah.
Nah, dude, it's straight.
So they can only do like lame sports.
Well,
no, I bet Kyle would allow
like
wrestling.
most people don't.
They could be a YouTuber. That's it.
It's a really rare thing that you put a kid in MMA. I've seen child MMA fights in Russia, but it's pretty fucked up. Most people agree it's awful. But what kids can do at like 6, 7, 8 is wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and striking. Because
martial arts.
Striking.
Yeah. You ever seen a 6-year-old knock a 6-year-old out? No, of course not. And they're wearing headgear. They're wearing headgear all the time. They're not getting hurt at all.
But you do that later anyways. Like learning how to learning martial arts, it feels like good for the brain. the body. You don't even get into fighting. I don't think they spar until much later on, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, that's my thought process on that. Whereas, like, I remember doing Pee Wee football and us like slamming our heads into each other.
Dude, I played football for 15 years.
I played football too.
Yeah, football was the.
How do we know this is fine?
Because
we were supposed to be better than this, Taylor. Look at us. We were supposed to be better.
Maybe we had a little bit more potential than this, Taylor. Maybe we could be a little bit sharper.
Nah, this is the absolute peak, the apex.
You know, like you don't know what thinking with 10 more IQ points would even feel like. You know, maybe it's like you always have caffeine.
This podcast would have been so sick if you guys were retarded.
If it weren't for all the goddamn concussions, we'd be hilarious.
Dude, 10 less IQ points, this could be the most popular podcast in America.
Actually, yeah. More concussions.
Just
you well on your way.
Bafflingly low understanding of the goings on in the world.
You would have been Mr. Beast. That could have been you. You could have been Mr. Beast.
Yeah, I mean, could have gamed the algorithm, got popular. I don't like the steak though, Kyle.
No,
football's an American tradition. It's fun. I didn't actually like playing it because, I actually like the Canadian tradition more of hockey, and that's not child abuse. I wanted to play. All the kids that play football wanted to play, and you get a camaraderie.
Hockey is much more expensive.
Just mention camaraderie as if it can only be found alongside concussions.
No, but it's a way to get it. You're all concussed together.
Yeah. I mean, I would just pick a different way.
Kyle.
Yeah. Most 7-year-olds aren't giving each other concussions. Like, by the time they're that age where they're giving out concussions, like, they're high schoolers who really want to play.
I learned a lot from football. I like that it's there. I like that it's there, but this is like, if it's there and a kid doesn't want to play football, even if they're the biggest, fastest, strongest, all the potential in the world, I think and this conversation could be applied to so many things. How comfortable are you with your child being able to express to another person that they don't want to do what you're having them do, and then they don't do it? For football, it's so simple. But then, what other aspects of life would you be comfortable with your kid being like, yeah, I don't want to do this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't think you should push a kid to play sports they don't want to. Like, if the kid's like, please Harley, don't make me suit up, I'm scared, then don't make that kid play football.
Did you want to be goalie?
Mostly because
I know the answer. That's why I asked it.
I didn't want to, but I was so much better at goalie than both everyone else on my team and at how good I was at forward that I'm like,
as a medic on Battlefield,
do this. I got the hand-eye coordination. I was much better at goalie than I was at any other position. So I had to do it.
Every time I've ever played squad or the World War I just want to be a grunt, and I want to have a stranger tell me what to do online, and I want to listen and do it. And I get there, and it's like always 15 minutes, and I'm like changing my role. I'm like, okay, listen up, you fucking idiots. Here's what we're doing. And I don't want to be that guy. I want to be stoned, and I want to listen. And I love when I get him there, and there's a real military guy there, and he's talking all military. I'm trying to keep up. I'm like, copy that. Copy.
Yeah. You want to just chill and be instructed.
Copy on your
I'm the same way, Harley. I call it leadership chicken, right? Your teacher puts 4 of you in a lab group. I will sit there quietly for 2.5 minutes. And if nobody leads, it's like, all right, someone's got to.
Let's do it because we got to do it. I don't want to be the guy.
That's never more evident than when we play code names, where it's someone's turn to click the words they guess, and everyone will be like, well, I think we're good on these 3. Let's do it. And then 30 seconds passes and nobody clicks, because it's also just a propaganda warehouse in those games. And so everyone could be like, so we're set, Ocean, Sea, and Penguin. And everyone on your team's like, yeah, 100%. And then you do it. You get the first one wrong, and they're like, well, until Taylor clicked fucking Penguin, I specifically said Sea and Ocean first. Meanwhile, 40 seconds ago, they're going, their name's on Penguin.
I'm looking forward to the next code name. Some guy joined the Discord, and he's like, I'm here for the code names. It's like 2 weeks ago. He's like, what's up? And I'm like, we don't like do it every day or anything. It's like this. We play for 4 hours at the end of the month all day until everybody's mad.
I can't wait to meet this guy.
How many people play at a time?
Sometimes 10 12v12, depends on how many people.
How many people could play code names at once?
Any number.
Know the high end.
Really?
Technically infinite, because you have one guy, being the code master, and then you have this bank of people deciding on what are good things to pick, and they all vote amongst themselves, and yeah, do this, do that. And so you could have an infinite number, really.
And then the other team is pretending to be on your team, saying, you know what? I think it's Penguin. I think you guys should pick Penguin. And if you choose ocean, sea, and lake, you're a moron. It's definitely bodies of water.
Oh, the most satisfying thing to happen during code names is when Kyle is the clue giver. And so he can't interject, say anything. And I'm on the opposite team. And I know exactly what words Kyle's going for. And so I initially say one of the words he's going for. So I'll be like, oh, ocean, that's 100% what Kyle meant, in order to get them to think a little less of it. And then add one that's tangential just to confuse. And I'll know that Kyle's sitting there like, don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. And every once in a while, pretty often they do. And I'm like, oh, he's fuming. He's
it's
so
also
funny.
my favorite.
I like the way
it's
you
also
said
my
that.
favorite part of the game.
And this,
like
all this fun is
you
happening.
can see some people are terrible. Like every piece of advice they give you is bad. And they scream from the rooftops, don't listen to my advice. Other people, 2/3 of their advice is good. They tried to give you the good advice that they think you would have followed anyway. And the other third, that's meant to throw you off the path. Code names can get sophisticated.
And all this fun and secret racism happens if people are sign up to the Patreon.
Yes, but it's
Dude,
over.
that sounds fucking good.
And we watch it. The fun part is when we watch our MMA fights together. I like doing that in a big call because, get to talk MMA with people who know MMA and then get to watch people get their brains beaten out.
I should get access. You should give me access.
You should get Harley in the mix.
If I was better,
I don't know if I'll ever go, but I like the value. I like that as a value, and I'm owed it. I want in on that value. I don't want to be.
You can always
I think Kyle might be doing it. I can't tell because
Harley, you're a mod. Like you're.
Oh, am I?
Let me go ahead. You're a PKA lad. That's what we call mods.
That's like when I didn't watch HBO for like 2 years because I didn't think I had it, and like 2 weeks ago, I'm like, I wonder if someone's logged in. I've been paying for it.
That's the worst.